Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Christelle Martinette here again, and I'm here for a reading for the month of July for all different signs individually, and a peek into the next 6-month period. I just wanted to explain how I was going to do that. For the month of July, I think it was in I think it was the solstice reading, I mentioned Michelangelo. I was talking about the Vera Sibilla, and I said, in front of his statue, he said, "Speak, why don't you speak?" Well, I have the Michelangelo Tarot, and I'm going to use that for the month of July. Lovely deck, just a lovely deck. You'll see that and I'll show you the cards when I read them. And then I'll be using, and of course, the Vera Sibilla. What would life be without them? Upside down, of course. Now, I also have this, the way I do a mini tableau, grand tableau, mini grand tableau with using the Lenormand cards. This is the deck that I'm going to be using. It's called the Fairy Tale Lenormand deck, and this was purchased from a colleague of mine at the Secrets of the Universe.shop. And it's a lovely deck. It comes with a beautiful booklet. It's a huge booklet, actually, in a tin, and they're very lovely cards, as you can see, and I'll show you them. How am I going to do that? Well, for those of you who read the Lenormand cards, you know that there's 36 cards, and every position has a number, and every number means something. Every card means something. And when you mix the cards and put them out, it has a specific meaning when it falls on what we call that house. In the mini grand tableau, I cut out a different, I cut out 4 by 4. So I take the inner circle of the grand tableau, where there are houses ranging from the 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 26, 27, 28, 29. This is just for those who read that deck, and just to give you an idea. Now, every house has a meaning. For example, there is a house that speaks of surprises, and then a Norman card will be placed on top, and it will have a meaning. And of course, they're 4 by 4, and every row in every direction has a different meaning for me time-wise. So we'll be talking about obstacles, we'll be talking about decisions to be made, what your public life will be about, your work, your livelihood, endings, beginnings, surprises, and definite endings, communication, home life, nuisances, problems, decisions that must be made. The female influences, male influences, matters of communication, not only communication, and something hidden, more or less. This is what we'll be dealing with. And of course, in the 6 months. Now, before I go any further, let me finish. And just by saying thank you for being here, welcome new subscribers, and thank you to my old subscribers. Let's go into the reading. Hi, Cancer. Now it's your turn for the month of July. Let's see what is in store for you for the month of July. Cancer, month of July. We have one card out. Flew out. The Tower. Oh, the cards really wanted to come out. So we have the Tower first, and on the left side we have the Death card. We have the Empress, the Queen of Wands, the 7 of Pentacles, the Devil, the Page of Swords, the 5 of Cups, the Seven of Swords. It's going to be a tough month for you, Cancer. Very, very tough month. Now, what do I have is in the middle of this spread is the Seven of Coins. That's our focus. And it seems that you're questioning yourself. You are questioning yourself. There you go. You're questioning your values. You're questioning, what have I done in my life? This is an important moment for you to take stock. And it comes without you even knowing, because all of a sudden, well, it's actually starting in the month of June. It started in the month of June, and you just started feeling a little bit off, maybe a little unsettled, but then, sore throat, oh, my knees hurt, my legs hurt, starting to see things sort of, you're questioning yourself, what have I done? Should I have done this? Or there's a moment where you feel that change is inevitable and you're not accompanying the change. And that is why the elements against you are starting to make themselves felt even more. Now, there's a very strong here, well, there are a number of major arcana, important major arcana here, starting with this tower situation, the tower, the death card, the tower, the death card, the empress, and the devil card. It seems here that, for me, many of you Cancers out there have finally come to the realization that the relationship that you were trying to hold on to in the past, even though it was over, even if it is over, you're not living with them, you have lived with them for so long, separation, the whole bit. Now you're starting to feel, well, we're not going back to that. And it's hitting you really strongly. And that is what I'm seeing as the major issue. But added to that, Cancer, it's a month of taking stock, because many of us, when we have, let's say our relationship doesn't go well, or our, you invested money in it, you just lost money, you always then lean on something else. Okay, my relationship is not very promising, but at least I'm making money. But here I'm seeing that you're not interested in your livelihood and the making of money that much, because the overwhelming energy that's making you understand. The universe is saying, Cancer, come on, can't you see the writing on the wall, right? But there are a lot of things going on. It's not just in the relationship. It has to do with your view in relation to how time changes and how the movement that we see usually from left to right in time, the temporal patterns. Why is it that now all of a sudden I'm feeling this? Why is it that? And it's interesting, too, that you have two sevens here, the focus cards. There's the Tower, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. And you're taking on, for not the first time in your life, but with respect to the past, you're starting to see your hand in the development of events. You're starting to see what role you had. And it's a difficult realization for you. That is the issue here in the month of July. You're starting, and this is a birthday month as well for many of you, and this is how things happen sometimes. If there's this little element of doubt that's, in that inner voice is thinking, well, I had something to do with it, I do have responsibility. And it seems that right around your birthday is where you are thinking that time is passing, ladies and gentlemen. What has changed? Has anything changed in the last couple of years? I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still pining after that person. I'm still, even though I have desires elsewhere, but it's not coming back. So you're being hard on yourself. That's very clear with this Devil here. You're being very hard on yourself in relation to a fire sign, I have to say. There's this Queen of Wands here, and male or female. If you're a female, it could be a male of a fire male. There's also the Page of Swords that really clarifies to me as a reader that with respect to the past, this is one of the first times that you're seeing your role. You know, you're not giving responsibility to that person for the failure of something, you know. And, okay, I see you crying over spilt milk. I use that expression, crying over spilt milk. I'm going to take the, and it seems that it's always negative. You know, what I'm saying is negative. But, you know, taking stock of what has happened and taking responsibility for actions and your hand in it is never an exercise, a futile exercise. It's always geared toward the next stage, and we'll see that with the Lenormand cards in the mini grand tableau to see what's coming up after this. And so in many respects, I'm happy that I put those two together. I'm going to go now to the tower situation. Okay. The tower situation, yes, so right. This is, you know, adding fire to flames, adding, you know, it from bad to worse, okay? I'm seeing the artist. The artist could be a lawyer, could be a scientist, and it could be a bona fide person that has caused you, has come between you and your loved one. But you couldn't do anything about it. Okay, I have the prigione, the prison, the jealousy, and the artista, the artist here. And but that's only one reading. Here I'm seeing that you're coming finally to your realization, to the realization that your state of affairs today has also been caused by your blinded, how can I say, you turned a blind eye for a long period of time, and that has put you into a situation, your current situation. There's an element of communication here that is lacking, and I'm going over the in your mind. I'm going over the page of the page of Swords to see what that communication is all about. Yes, it is over. There's the widower, you know, cards like the Death, the Widower, you know, they're very heavy cards that tell you it stands between you and beginning a new life for yourself, Cancer. Vedovo, the widower, that could be a female, and Bambino, the child, and Allegrezza al cuore, happiness in the heart. It is a moment, and you are telling yourself, and the cards are also telling you, this is the moment that you have to now be ready for the second part of the book, or another book, the beginning of another book. I'm going to take the Vera Sibilla on the Five of Cups here. Yes, okay. You're having difficulty even conceiving. All right, this is Viaggio, the trip movement, leggerezza, the lightness of being, and ladro, the thief. And you're having difficulty seeing yourself moving forward and finding new love, finding new friends, finding new... This is going to be an issue for you. And now, with your permission, I'm going to close this July reading and open the reading for the 6 months, the next 6 months, and see what goes down from there. What happens next? Cancer. Okay. This is the fairy tale Lenormand deck that I purchased from a colleague of mine who has a shop called Secrets of the Universe .shop. Secrets of the Universe .shop. Okay. Okay, now let me tell you I'll show you the cards, the fox, the letter, the cross, the coffin, the garden, the mountain, the key, the gentleman, the tree, the lady, the anchor, the book, the heart, the whip, the mice, and the moon. Now, let me give you the development here generally, and then I'll go into different domains of your life here. Now, first of all, what you're thinking is that there is a certain communication that you entertain with those around you, and this is the second half of the year. You seem to want to, in some way, be strategic in the way you communicate. But if it weren't, this would be the case if it weren't for the feeling that something has ended, right? There is an ending, and you acknowledge that, and you acknowledge it even more. And so the second half of the year really makes you focus differently, focus on something else, focus on someone else. You start to get out there. You're wanting to be more social, but that is a challenge for you. It really is the challenge. And the key here stands to tell us that that is your challenge, putting yourself out there in the social, in society with other people. Now, there is the communication here to me from the cards that you're very, very happy in where you are, in your residence, in the place where you live. You're very happy about that. It unfortunately brings back memories of a loved one that's no longer with you, and that is difficult for you. But the cards are also telling you with this tree in the position in the house of the garden that that's where your health lies. The more you go out and the more you're able to exchange your ideas with others, that's what it was going to ultimately bring you abundance, bring you happiness. Now, the challenge, the obstacle is the woman or the loved one from your past that you have difficulty. They will never leave your mind. They're part of your life, and you have to accept that. But that's when if you can accept that, even in the current state of events, then you can go forward. Decisions to be made here, and choices, your further choices have to do with an element of stability. What shall I do to make me feel more stable? What shall I do? So every turn of the way, you're going to find a decision that you have to make that will have an influence, a strong influence on your sense of stability. And for many of you Cancers, it has to do with your work. How can I improve my work? The decisions to improve, that will give you a sense of stability. But I see a good number of you, the majority, who don't care about their work and don't care about that as sense of stability is coming from that. So it has to do with any other aspect that will bring you out with others. Now, the real difficulty for you, Cancer, in the second half of the month is dealing with the unknown. Okay, that will make you feel a bit destabilized. And the hidden factor is, where is the love coming from? You don't know. And that is what is hidden from you. Okay, but it is there. Talk, communication needs to be and will be stepped up, even at a level of interpersonal relations and getting closer to someone. And that is going to be, you're going to concentrate on that in the second half of the year, quite seriously. And it's going to be not a challenge, but the key. It's knighting with the key, and it's also going to be in the public. It is what is going to bring you in the public. Communication for the objective of meeting someone and bringing someone into your life. And that's not going to be easy. because you still have the feeling of love for someone who's no longer with you. Either you broke up or they have moved away, but they're no longer with you. Now, I'm going through the houses now, the different houses, ends and beginnings. Ends and beginnings, you're starting to feel, Cancer, that this is the time you want to take matters in your own hands and want to call the shots. You're tired of being at the mercy of your emotions, but now you want to sort of strategize in that sense. And surprises come in the form of communication. People start communicating with you that come as a surprise for you. Endings, complete endings, the cards are telling you it was over. They're repeating to you, Cancer, that what you were trying to hold on to definitely is over. But what is not over and what is transformed is your way of communicating with the person that you still hold on to, and you need that transformation. You need that transformation, that type of energy that will transform you and her or he or the other significant others, no longer in your life, but take the communication to a different level, because the communication is still there, and it will be continuing with that person. That person's never going to go out of your life, but they're not there for you as you would wish they were. Now, your work and livelihood, this is a godsend for you, because that's what takes you out ultimately. You spend a lot of time on your work, and that's what gives you a sense of security, even if you don't care for work as a sense of security. No matter how much you work, your sense of security, feeling that you are safe, is going to be quite a challenge for you in the second half of the year. But what's interesting here is the key that's fallen in the House of the Stars, and this is the guidance, the House of Guidance. This is the domain of guidance. This is asking you to take a leap of faith, because spiritual, you need to enter and make a qualitative jump spiritually. And for those of you who have never reasoned along these, of course, those of you who are watching me here are usually in a very close to a fifth dimensional reasoning process and living process. You deal in the fifth dimension already. But here I'm talking to those who are not there yet. That is where you need to go in order for you to make a qualitative jump, both spiritually and monetarily, because this talks about abundance. Abundance when you accept and can interact with what the universe is showing you. Here I have also our domain, the home. Again, the cards are stressing that the house is not where the home is. Sorry, the home is not where the house is. Home is where the heart is. That's the expression. That's what I was thinking. The home is not where the heart is for you, but you need to make of yourself a person that is now still able to walk on their own 2 feet. A big challenge for you lies ahead. Public life. Again, I'm stressing that public life is where your health will improve. Your health will be plentiful, abundant, happy, and serene when you're in the public life and socializing. Obstacles come in the way of interacting on an interpersonal relation with the other, with partners, potential partners. That is the challenge, because on the one hand you still have difficulty in pushing yourself forward, but that is where the challenge lies. The paths have to do the decisions that need to be made. The house of the decision here, I'm seeing that this is your salvation. If you're able to face major decisions, if you're able to say, okay, My friends have asked me to go out and have dinner, but it's on the other side of town. I'm very tired. I don't feel like going. If you're able to say, okay, this might be an opportunity for me to see old people. This might be open the door to meeting someone new. This might be, you know, that's a major decision, and that will bring you stability. Actual decisions that you take are the source of stability for the next 6 months. And the house, the domain of nuisances and problems, those, it comes out as being a mystery here. The problems that will arise for you and the nuisances that you have to deal with are not visible to you, and you have no inkling of what they are like, but they're very close to the decisions that you're going to be faced to make. And so, how can I say, if you can understand that a decision hides an opportunity that you're not aware of, and that's where the surprise element arises. Something hidden is the love that's coming into your life. And the cards don't want, the cards are asking you to take a leap of faith before the universe brings another love to you. And you have to make that leap of faith, Cancer. And this is where the silver lining is. The matters of communication here, I see that you do. You know, there is a lot of talk, verbal language, on the phone, in person, and that is going to be your secret weapon, is speaking. Maybe you were not used to that in the past. You know, maybe you were if a male, strong, silent type, looking across the room, making eye contact, and that's it. That's not going to suffice, and the cards are telling me you are not that person anymore. You are a talkative person, and that's going to ultimately bring you to that secret side of the new relationship. Now, the male influences in the spread here are everything to do with what the animus side has to tell us is the most difficult. You know, if I'm a man, being a man is going to be difficult. If I'm a woman, getting my decision-making process and having my male side buttressed is going to be a difficult process. And all in all, I see the male component of you Cancerians there that seems to be suffering the most. The female influences. What about the female influences? The female side, to the anima of your soul, has to do with love. All right, you're finding love in different places, and the whole bottom line of the spread is telling you, Cancer, you need to make that leap of faith. Again, strategizing against the odds in terms of how the challenges that you create even for yourself, facing them, strategizing, will ultimately be the stabilizing factor for your emotions, and completely transforming your perspective of spirituality is going to be the watchword in order to face obstacles when dealing with the desire to interact with a possible person in the future, a possible mate for you in the future. I hope this was of help, Cancer. And there are a lot of messages here. Let's see if they'll help you. Cancer, have a great month of July. Bye-bye. Till we read together again. Namaste.